Hey, Larry Bailey with Mortgage Workflow Partners. 'Tis the season of Christmas decorations, Chris. I've added more stuff just for you. Welcome, everyone. We meet every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern and Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Today's Tuesday, and so on Tuesdays, we've decided to go ahead and focus in on people and roles. And today's episode is going to all be about quality control best practices and QC like a master at Encompass. Chris says we got our tree up and the house is decked out. Awesome. I think we're going to have like a Christmas decoration off in the community. So if you're listening, go ahead, and whoever wants to be the first up to start a thread. I will warn you that we found some LED C9 lights that you can string 30 of those suckers together, apparently, according to the label. So I'm just saying, like, we have 1,500 feet of lights in addition to everything else. So that's the gauntlet right there. That's the gauntlet I'm throwing down. So this is a community meeting. It's obviously really about everybody here getting ready for all things that are changing. I did want to bring up a couple of things. Sorry for my voice. A couple of things before we get into the topic. First of all, for those that are listening on replays, your aces, thank you very much for always wanting to listen to the replay. I hope that you can make it to the event live. Yeah, the C9s, Candace, are the way to go. They're really inexpensive. And the ones that are opaque, they make clear bulbs, but then they make an opaque bulb that really, they did a nice job. So so making these appointments here, making these things here, there is a way to download the calendar from the community. So that way, if you're like me and you live on your calendar, and if it's not on your calendar, you're going to miss it, like me, go ahead and do that. We're going to continue these through for about another 4 weeks. I think we end the second week of December. Then we're going to take a pause and get everybody through the holidays. And then we're going to be coming out with some really, really, really cool stuff next year. I've added in the journey to the web. So there's a new space online here. Let me go ahead and share that on screen here on replay so we can all go ooh and ah. But seriously, it's just a space to making sure that when we get over into Mortgage Community, we've got a space to spend pretty much all next year. And I'm sure it'll bleed into the following year, but over in Mastering Encompass, you've got Encompass Journey to the Web. Go ahead and join up. So basically what this is going to do is give us a focal point of things that we should all be doing as we all move to the web. You can try to kick and scream and not want to go, but you're going. You're coming. And so a couple of things that we're going to be doing next year is focusing in on that journey to the web. We've already been doing that. You know, we had a big partner meeting with ICE this past week, and the question came from ICE, like, who's helping people move to the web? And I got to say, I was one of the few to say we're actually doing something about it, because we've been focusing all year on making sure folks understand how to leverage task-based workflows using workflow tasks, and then, of course, enhanced conditions. And I'm going to repeat the announcement, the PSA here. Please get with your vendors that you have services with. So please get with your credit vendors, flood vendors, appraisers, your VOI, VOD, VOE, whatever. Get with everybody that you're getting any information, your title companies, if you're doing something with an integration that's outside the title center. I'm going to speak to that too real quick. Make sure they're EPC enabled, because you want to get on to leveraging. Right now, you can automate those services. And I know that sounds kind of wild, but you can automate those services. And then you can also, if they're EPC enabled, which is what we're talking about, you can also read the data as it comes back native. So as a good example, the flood is a really simple one. So if the flood cert comes back and it's special hazard, you can actually fire a workflow task to make sure your team goes and fetches flood insurance. You can also, if you're using enhanced conditions, you can also add a condition to the eFolder like that, lights out, no third-party automation needed. So when we talk about like automated underwriting, these kinds of things, obviously we're not talking about OCR. We're not talking about reading the appraisal, but we are talking about with EPC, just like we saw with day one certainty and rep and warrant relief, when you can get to the data source and you can get the data source to come back into the loan file, you can do things with that data. And that's really what EPC is all about. It's about not having to always build third-party interfaces out of your pocket on top of the VIG that you pay to ICE for Encompass for the success-based pricing that we all pay. You should be able to get it from the base pricing. And that's what we advocate for at Mortgage Workflow Partners. It's the whole reason why I built this company up. And it's all the reason why we continue to do great things. And we're going to be announcing some strategic partnerships and these kinds of things. So Candace says, it's on my project list for next year, but exciting news. We're making recommendations to the bank for the big POS. I think that's great. They're a fantastic company. And if they, if they give you something that's really important that you can't find native in Encompass, I think you should take advantage of it. And I think you should be an active voice with ICE to say like, hey, how come you can't give us something like this, right? Why have to pay extra? Advocate for ICE to keep developing. So listen, real quick on this topic of Journey to the Web. This happened this week, and I want to share it with the community. And by the way, for those that are listening to the replay, you're probably going to get kicked off right now if you're on video. But get over to Mortgage.Community, watch the whole video. There's going to be some really cool stuff we're going to be covering with quality control. I'm going to show you some things to do, some things to think about doing in Encompass, that kind of thing. So there we go.